persimmon can be an overstory tree. They can get quite tall. And pawpaw trees are an understory tree. They're about 20 feet tall on average, maybe a little bit more. And they can tolerate being in the shade of taller trees. So they're a good one to add into the mix, so you have multiple levels of food production. And let's say if you already have some tall trees in your yard and you've got some, moderately rich, moist soil, you can add the pawpaws under there to add, another beneficial layer.
Do they all flourish in this area? Because I live about 15 minutes from here.
15 minutes? Okay. I think they all could do well. I've seen pawpaws grow naturally in sandy soils. I'm assuming that's probably what you have. The more nutrients in it, the better.
Okay, yeah, well, we have pretty dark soil. I'm out in the woods in Jackson.
Even better.
And I have a garden and it's all original. My family's owned the land for 100 years. So, we built our farm on it. My family's been farming for generations. So I feel like I might be a good home for one of these things.
Sounds like it definitely would.
You're here.
Good home for you too. That's amazing. So, yeah. One thing to know about the persimmons and the pawpaws is that they can spread with root suckers to form a clonal colony or a patch of the same plant. And you need more than one individual to pollinate. So with the pawpaws, we have them 2 in a pot. The reason for that is so you can take one pot home, and when you plant it, divide it into 2 trees, so that then they have a chance to pollinate each other. They're not self-fertile. The persimmons are the same way. You'll want to have at least 2 of those, and we've got those 2 per pot. They're in the larger pots, by the way.
It would be a good idea to leave the door open so we get more air in here. There you go. The movement of the air is important.
Apples generally will need another pollinator as well, but there are so many crab apples and other apple trees around, usually in neighborhoods and farms, that you may not need to add another one if there's something else moving that's an apple around you. And these are seed-grown apples. They are not a dwarf or a semi-dwarf rootstock like you would buy at a nursery. So what you would want to know is that that is going to turn into an actual tree, not a little 10 or 15 foot dwarf or semi-dwarf variety. You can prune it to keep a nice shape and keep it a bit smaller, but you're going to want to get 30 or 40 feet when all is said and done. It'll be you ever see the old apple trees on farms that are just enormous and they drop all of the fruit for the wildlife and make cider out of the apples? It's going to be that kind of case with them. So just make sure you have a large enough space that the plant can have what it needs if you're going to give those a home. Any questions on the trees?
This is all the trees you have today, or you have more back there somewhere?
So we have many more in the forest where we're going to be planting.
Are you going to transplant, or they are already in the forest and then you want to plant them again? Or, I don't know.
Oh, so we have them all in pots. We just
Oh, you got them
unloaded
in
trees.
pots.
Yeah, we unloaded the ones where we're planting.
Oh, I got it.
And then these are the ones that we brought in just in case anyone would like to plant
Now,
them.
now I understand more of it.
But
We
also,
just took down a tree, so one of them is going to have a great home right in front of my house.
perfect.
Thank you.
I want to mention Zach also brought some elderberry cuttings for us. Thank you, Zach. We're going to be planting some of those in the forest, and there is such a generous quantity. Anyone who wants to grow elderberries, I'm thinking could take a cutting home with them, and we'll show you what to do with them in order to get those to grow. So, even more plant amendments. And raspberries too, right?
So welcome everybody. It's been a very, very nice weekend for Cheryl and for myself. We got started out Friday. We drove out to PA to learn taiko drumming. Oh, that was really nice. And then we had our first outdoor drum circle. I know some of you that are here were there yesterday. We we were blessed by rain followed by a rainbow, which is kind of nice. So we're part of Touch Mother Earth nonprofit. Our mission is to bring the outside in. Not everybody has the option to plant a tree in their own yard. Maybe they don't even have a shovel. They live in an apartment or somewhere else. So it is nice that we have these options where you can come out and do it directly. We also like to film it, so for people who may not be able to come. There are some people who they're not outward bound. Maybe they're not socially able to be around groups. Maybe they're physically not able to be around groups. So we try to capture some of that essence and bring the outside in. So we have touchmotherearth.org is our nonprofit. Now we also like to have fun throughout the year and bring our joy, which is drumming, under EarthMovers Drum Collective. So today you are all unofficial members. At some point during the day you'll become official members of EarthMovers if you aren't already. Everybody has a drum that needs one. We still have a couple more drums. If you'd like to grab one, now would be a good time. If you don't want to use a drum, I see there's a little bit of percussion, that's fine. And then we're going to take a quick moment just to go over so we don't hurt ourselves with the drum. I did a lot of drumming this year. I'm going to keep my gloves on. I'll take them off for this moment to get us so we can visually see. So the first thing we want to know is, how does the sound get out of a drum? Well, let's start with this drum came from a tree. This is part of a trunk. Some drums will be made of glued up pieces of wood, such as this. So you've got multiple pieces, and if you look inside, you'll see how it was glued. But they all originally came from a tree. And so we're honoring the fact that a tree was used to make several drums, however many they got out of that 40 or 60-year-old tree. But what about in another 40 or 60 years? Drumming is growing. More people want drums. Have they thought about planting trees that'll be there for the drums? Have they thought about replacing the trees they take down every time they build and construct, that we're providing fruit, nuts, etc. for wildlife? So all of these things are integrated. We want to make sure that we have trees, not just for the next generation, but for generations when we're no longer here. They're providing a shade. Maybe at one point they do get used for lumber or for firewood. So replacing them. Now, part of the goal why we like to work with Antinanco is they are replacing indigenous species. These are trees that were already here, enjoyed by the Lenape Indians and other tribes. So it makes sense. We've taken the land away. The least we can do is give some trees back. So that'll be my political statement for the moment. Well, let's go in. Cheryl, do you have anything you would like to add?
Yes, our calendar is at touchmotherearth.com, and all our festival pictures and everything, even though the nonprofit is at touchmotherearth.org.
Good point.
Find us at any time. And thousands of Facebook pages. You can join Touch Mother Earth Nonprofit and EarthMovers Drum Collective and a number of different other Facebook pages. They're hard to miss.
All right. So I'm a lefty. You guys are righty. Just think of me as your peer. If you're a lefty, then right on, you know. Now we don't use our thumb. Just keeping our hand together, nice and flat. Would you like a drum? Okay. Sure. Like a heartbeat, right? Other hand. Right. Both hands.
like that, no.
So, I turn it over to Olga.
By yourself.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Cheryl. Welcome. Welcome. Those of you who came home later. So sorry. What we're gonna do next, we're gonna move to our planting site and actually get our hands into the soil. Whoever's ready. Are we ready? So it's a very short walk from here. You're welcome to bring some of the drums with us. It would be great if we could keep the beat going.
So you feel comfortable bringing a drum? The lightweight drums are good. We'll be encouraging